Hello, I'm Alena Nitsky, owner of the international wedding editing studio Nitsky Studio. Previously, I showed you a way to prepare material using In-Out. Today we're talking about how to sort the shots out on the timeline. This way is better for big weddings and multi-camera recordings. As you know, work on wedding videos has several stages. Shooting and editing are the main ones. However, the beginning of the editing can be difficult. A good way to simplify this process is to cut out the bad parts of the material before editing. In our studio, we call this process parsing, and it is always the first stage of work. That's why I will explain this process in our example. Parsing is the process of preparing the material for subsequent editing. Its main goal is to turn a disordered heap of videos into an understandable system from which you will be able to edit the wedding highlight or film. Also, parsing provides the opportunity to get acquainted with all the materials from the wedding. And after that, you will be able to maximize your creativity and won't waste your attention on defects and bad moments. And now let's answer the main question: how to do the parsing. In our studio, we use the following sequence of actions. First of all, we should synchronize the material and pluralize. We upload all audio and video files and wait for the program to connect them all. Pluralize goes through all audio files and finds the ones that were taken at the same time. Then we need to import all the videos and the synchronized file into Adobe Premiere and click twice on it. Then we duplicate the synchronized sequence and work on the copy. This makes it possible to return to the initial synchronized file if we mess up. This is the timeline you will work on. It has three colors: red, green, and blue. The red pieces are unsynchronized elements. We'll talk about them later. Green and blue parts have audio and video connections. We're most interested in these ones. So, in the beginning, we should check if they are correct. The next stage is to get the chronology right. Red unsynchronized files can be scattered on the timeline, and we need to put them in the right place. Then we split our video into blocks. Usually there's 6 of them: details, preparations of the bride and groom, the love story photo shoot, ceremony, and reception. Every part should have its own color. You should also pick out all speeches, the reading of the letters, the vows, and the toasts. This will be useful if you want to add background sound. In the end, your sequence will look like this. Now we can begin the main part of parsing. We will select the needed material. First of all, we need to cut out all bad parts. Flows, zooms, changes of light, camera movements, shots with other photographers and videographers, and shots where people look unattractive, for example, scratching their nose or fixing their dress. When you've cut out all the defects, choose the most successful shots and select angles by the scale and the plot. First we put the long shots, then the close-ups and the details. Do this with the most important moments, such as the first meeting and ceremony, so that they're edited from the start and you don't have to spend your time on them later. Finally, I can give you some advice on how to simplify the parsing process. Look through the video by playhead or with the keys G, K, and L. This way you will be able to regulate the viewing speed. Also use the In-Out technique for short footage. You can get more information about IM from our previous video, and always use the hotkeys. It will save you a great deal of time. This simple preparation will enable you to solve all technical problems and then make the process of creative editing simple and pleasant. But if you need a professional wedding video, you can always ask Nitsky Studio.